while I was working, 6 military men walked into the place I was working. And they said, "We heard that you absconded with your client's money." Hi, my name is Nangi Emmanuel.
My name is Kobo Medlin Sudonaka. I'm from Ogoni. I like to put that out.
I am an interior designer and furniture maker, and also a performance poet.
I drive visibility to brands using compelling stories and relative content. Just to wrap it up, I'm a publicist and a brand storyteller.
I have a dream of building a fully automated furniture factory out of Africa. And the reason why I want to do it, I'm going to give a backstory. One time I did a project and a client came from abroad. And when he saw the work that we did, he took a piece of the furniture we made here in Nigeria and took it back to, I think it was US thereabout. And when he went there, he posted that, "Oh, I bought this locally made furniture." And I asked myself, if it was made in my country and taken to another country, it's not foreign? Because if you buy something from their local market down here, we call it foreign. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do this furniture thing so well that everything we build out of Africa or Nigeria will still be considered foreign when it leaves our soil. But that dream has almost become the end of me.
When I hear that word chasing, that's the reason why we feel exhausted, because we're always running. But for me, it's just simple to just live well and have a good life. Actually, that's just the dream. At the end of it all, I just want to live properly and have a good life, and I'm chasing that. Although it encompasses a lot.
One time we were executing this project. I think it was in 2022 or 3 thereabouts. I've tried my best to delete that memory from my mind. So we had 21 days to execute the project. I had initially given the client about 35 days, but he insisted on 21 days, so I gave him 25. And by the 20th day, we were almost done. And midway, the whole thing had fallen ill, food poisoning. I was very sick. I thought I was going to die, honestly. But I found a way to push through. And then I came to work on the 20th day. And while I was working, 6 military men walked into the place I was working and asked, "Who is Nangi?" And I was installing carpet and I said, "Oh, I'm the one." And then they said, "We heard that you absconded with your client's money." And I'm like, "Sorry, what client?" And the man was like, "He's military man." But like, "Are you asking me a question?" I'm like, "I'm very sorry, sir, but I'm trying to understand what you're saying." Goes on to say, "How long have you been given this job?" I said, I was given 25 days and this is the 20th day and we are rounding up today. So there was no point or there was no way for him to incite anger or anything. My staffs were there, about 4 of them. And in what felt like a minute, I was hanging upside down. They were whipping me with cables, beating me up, and I was told to like hang upside down. And I was trying my best to understand what was going on. And one of them cocked a shotgun, a pistol rather, and put it to my ankle and said, I think I even faded out at that point. But I just saw them shouting, and the guy kept showing me that he was loaded, and he'll put it back, and he puts it. "If you do anyhow, I will make sure you don't walk again." And in my mind, I'm like, how did I even get here? And he went on for like 30 minutes, and the client was just by the corner having a good time. And then he asked that they release me, but they had gotten so excited that they forgot that they were sent. So they kept going on, and the guy started begging them to stop, that it's okay, that I've apologized. And they could not stop. I think after like an hour thereabout, they stopped and said they'll be back here in the next 2 days. And if I'm not done, then I'll see the worst of them. And I was like, I'm finishing today, 5 days earlier than I promised. I continued working. In the moment, I didn't even think about it. I just went back to the carpet, was done installing, stood up, shook hands with the clients. I think I swore that I was never going to go back to that line of work again. But it took me 6 months. 6 months of trying to choose it again, trying to remind myself why I wanted to build such a thing. 6 months of rejecting every work, 6 months of fidgeting, 6 months of saying or imagining that every other project will end that way, 6 months of not believing that I was ever good at it from the onset.
It happens at every phase, or we fight at every phase for our life, for our dreams, but there are always the high points. And I remember 2, and the first one was in 2020, COVID era, came back from school, reality slapped, and I was home. I'm the first daughter and the first child of my family, and we were just living, like everybody was just together. You know how COVID was now. And then it dawned on me that I had nothing to offer. At first, it felt like that because I was in school, I had things going, I was busy, I felt useless. I felt like I had nothing to offer. I felt like there was no need for my existence because I'm someone that if I'm somewhere, I'm in a space, I have to do something, I have to contribute. COVID lasted for as long as it lasted, but I can remember being in my room for months that I lost track of time. I lost track of the day, the week, and the month. I didn't leave my room. I would only go to the bathroom, shower. I lost appetite. They would bring food for me. I may eat, I may not eat. I became pale. I was white. My parents were trying to figure out what was going on with me. They said, well, maybe you were sick or something, but I was down mentally and I did not want to exist again. I don't want to use the word depressed, but I think that's the word that we are familiar with. I tried to bring myself out of that darkness. All I could see was black. I couldn't see the light in anything. Nothing made sense until one day, I was having random conversations with random persons, both people that are older than me and my friend. And the person said, do you know how many people that are tied to you? Do you know how many people that would wake up every day because you are waking up? Do you know how many people that believe in what they believe in because you still believe in what you believe in? So if you go now, or if you give up now, or if you stop now, do you know that you have a whole line of people going down with you? And that was the thought that woke me up.
That's one of the most unexpected lessons, to fight for it, because policies are against you, the systems are against you, your background is against you. I had to drop out from school for 5 years to pursue this thing. It was either I stayed back in school and begged through to pay for stuff, or I quit the school, find a way to build what can sustain me in the school. So I had to drop out from school for 5 solid years. Being down at that point in time, I still remember that if I don't get up, nobody will come. What hurt me the most about that particular experience was I couldn't help but imagine how many other people around the world or how many other young builders are facing such embarrassments or are having to fight for the things they believe in such a way. I kept asking myself, are there photographers out there who are equally arrested, probably because they were late for a show? One thing about I'm Nigerian. So one thing about being Nigerian is you are expected to be resilient. We are born with grit. So it makes no sense really to stay down for long. So that whole experience made me realize that whatever is worth dreaming of is worth fighting for. So that was it. I think having to get up 6 months later to still do the same thing just made me realize that if you dreamt it and you believe in it, you actually have to fight for it against the odds. You just have to get up. So I think it just strengthened my mental grit. Being able to get up from that experience made me realize that somewhere inside me, everything that I need to achieve this dream of mine has already been made available. It's as though I needed a level of pressure for me to hold on tighter, because that experience made me realize that even purpose needs a level of structure. Purpose is not a fairy wish. You don't just wish that you become a doctor and then sit hoping that one day you wake up with a lab coat. So that experience made me realize that purpose has to be fought for. I think that's it. It just made me see that whatever you believe in, you just have to fight for it. I think it's just the fight for it, honestly.
When it had to do with me fighting for my dream, an incident happened in January, and it had to do with the fact that I was a woman, and it was a lot on me that it even got to the point where I had no blood in my system, and I was hospitalized. I had to take in blood transfusion and all of that for the first time in my life. After that, that experience broke me because I felt like I could live above it. I could stay strong. But I realized that from the beginning part of 2025 down to mid-year, I was broken. I felt I was okay because I was living, I was smiling, I was showing up, I was going out, but it broke me so bad that at the point where I couldn't hold it anymore, I sank deep into a very dark phase, and that was a lot. But I still remember that words from 2020 when I spoke to that senior friend of mine about him reminding me about the lines of people, the generations tied to me. And those are the same words that I reminded myself about. And I picked myself up and I started again gradually.
And really, to every young person out there who may be going through something even worse, I can't help but imagine if there is something worse. And I'm hoping there's really nothing worse than this. But if there is any young person out there who is going through something worse than this or in the same level, I'd like to say to you that if you push through, you should break through. I cannot say you will, but I'm saying you should. If you push through hard enough, you will break through. And I initially thought that nobody's coming for you. I think if you surround yourself with fellow dreamers, people who are equally dreaming big, people who will leave everything they are doing to hold your hands when you are feeling down or feeling lost or drifting away, if you surround yourself with those kind of people, you will always find a way to come back to the surface. So by all means, try not to do it alone.
Everything that has been destined to happen in this life for you to enact that purpose will happen. All the good things, all the marvelous things. Just know that you have to go through a process. Just know that you have to hit some rocks, swim some rivers, touch some barbed wires to get to that place. So don't overthink it. Just understand it and know that it is a process. And that no how, you will definitely get there and you definitely go through it.